he's managed to pull something special out of the hat every now and then. Pasovit Thitharavarak on the number 1, 2, 3 machine. And of course, Helmi Asman, how fast can he be on his day? Ray Toshima from 19th. Liam Taylor McDonald for the Victor Racing Team starts out at 20th. And 21st, the biggest field we've had in a long time, is that last qualifier, Mamsai. So really looking forward to getting those guys and this race out on track and underway.
Yeah, and while Pirapong seems to have outpsyched the ARC regulars, that isn't the case with Soichiro Minamoto.
Well, I would think that these Japanese wildcards will have had a lot of hard fighting over the years and throughout the year, especially at tracks like this. So yeah. I don't think he's going to want to finish second or third, that is for sure. Yeah. Nothing to lose for him.
Absolutely, and Soichiro, he has got ARRC experience. I think maybe last year or the year before he was in 250s, and I think he rode a 600 at some stage. But he's a regular in the JSB series, and that is a badass hard series. Well,
there's even more reason for him to want to win here today, especially if he's been in the championship out. He wants to show what he can do. So keep an eye on that yellow machine starting in second position on the grid. So really looking forward to seeing what he can do out there. Of course, Adam Norridin, you can never count him out. We know what he can do. He is definitely a rider to keep an eye on. Red flag is out at the front. The green flag is waving. We are getting ready for a start now. And we are almost in starters' hands. 10 laps around this Suzuka circuit. This is going to be a good one. And they're away. And as always, Pirapong gets a good start off the line. Keep an eye on Kazma Daniel, though. Kazma Daniel is even better. No, he hasn't. Pirapong sweeps across the front as they head into turn one. The Japanese wildcard's already nipping up the inside and takes Adam Norridin moving into third. We've got a crasher at the back of the field too. Two guys down there. Looks like they're both up and okay. Didn't quite catch a number of those, Barry, but I'm sure we'll find out in due course.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the... is that Helmi Asman that's gone down? I don't want to say it too soon, but it could have been.
Hopefully not, but he was near the back of the grid, but the main thing is both riders were up.
Pirapong already out front at the moment, as expected, going to try and win 7 out of 7. Hasn't been done for 14 years. Can he do it? Kazma Daniel sits right behind him. Will be making it an impossibility if he can.
Yeah, Kazma having a nibble at him. And Adam Norridin in third place. I think I can just see, yep.
Yeah, well, Adam Norridin's got battles of his own with the Japanese wild card at the moment. All sorts of problems for him. Minamoto causing, trying to make his way through, but then falling back. So Adam Norridin now has got work to do to catch up to that leading bunch. At the last round in the Chang International Raceway, Adam Norridin was on fire. Can he do it again?
Yep, let's see. First time out here.
Pirapong, though, as he's been all year long, he's absolutely perfect at the moment. Hasn't put a foot wrong. I mean, that bike just looks absolutely sensational as he tips in. I honestly don't recall him having any incidences this year, even in practice. I don't think he's had one crash.
He had a tumble in qualifying at Sepang.
Well,
a little one, and he's had, this is his second pole out of 4 starts. But honestly, when it comes to race day, he's so together. He's come under pressure, as you say, from Adam, from Kazma, from 1 or 2 other riders, but he's absorbed it every time. Here's the crash now.
Yeah, that could have been Helmi Asman. Still didn't quite catch the numbers who those 2 riders were, but anyway, we'll hopefully find out. But it certainly looked like one of the Musashi Boon Sue Honda Racing Team machines.
Yeah, Soichiro Minamoto ahead there of Adam Norridin.
Yeah, so
Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he's making his way forward again. On the Honda, we've got another faller there too. I just saw at the back of the pack. That could have been Yuto Sano that went down, but we will let you know. Looked like the person at about 5th position, which was Yuto at that point in time. So we will let you know when we see who that is. But meanwhile, back out front, Pirapong is the one putting the pressure on as per normal. Casma Daniel, though, seems to be doing a good job at hanging in there.
Yeah, he is doing a good job. This looks really familiar, Steve. Pirapong absorbing some pressure, going about his business.
Well, he's done more than absorbed it. He's absorbed it and he's spat it back out at the rest of the pack. That's what he's done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I want to keep an eye, though, on the gap between third and Pirapong out front. If Pirapong can, if this man, Minamoto, he seems to be, I guess, the wild card, the one that could do something. If he can get his act together now, there's still plenty of time to pull in that gap of about 1.5 seconds to the leader. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard, but he's got the most to prove out of everyone.
Yeah, he has. And let's have a look at the lap time when he's completed this lap, because he was working hard last time around. He did a 2:15. Pirapong has got the fastest lap. No surprise there, 2:14.1.
Of course, qualifying was 2:13.2 for Pirapong, so that just puts it in perspective. Tyre-wise, they do have a softer tyre in qualifying, so that lap time that he did first time round, he's already on a 2:13.4. That's very, very impressive by Pirapong. And matching Casma Daniel, good job.
Yep.
Minamoto has also done a great lap, 2:13.4, able to, in fact...
So that is the fastest lap.
Yeah, he was
so
the fastest lap so far, but he's got to do better than a catch by 100th a lap, or he's definitely going to miss out. But that man on the number 22, if he can get his act together, he's definitely going to have an opportunity here.
Well, we've got some distance to go yet. At the front, I believe Pirapong's trying to break Casma's heart.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's good at it, though, isn't he? That's what Pirapong does. Pirapong will settle in. He'll just sit there, and he'll go away at 0.1 of a second a lap. That's what he does best.
Yeah, he just frustrates the hell out of his leading rivals. But let's see what Casma can do. He's a quality rider.
Well, in Thailand, we saw the colour story about Pirapong and his training regime, and I'm a believer that his training is getting him to do what he's doing right now. He really does. He does the Thai kickboxing, lots of different stuff, but he does it for half a day every day, and he pushes himself through that pain barrier, through physical barriers, mental barriers, and that's why he's such a perfect rider now.
I agree with you, Steve. That is the thing about martial arts training or even Western boxing. It does do that to you. People who haven't done it don't really understand how hard it is and what you have to go through to actually come through and win. But yeah, you're right. That's Pirapong's regime.
Well, certainly working for him and putting a big smile on his face most Saturday and Sunday afternoons, especially when it's Asia Road Racing Championship weekends.
Yeah, so we've got a gap now between Minamoto and Adam Norridin in 4th position.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see about that the gap between the number 26 as he heads over the line now. Yamaha Thailand Racing Team's Pirapong goes across and does a 2:13.4. That's 2:13.4s in a row for him, and 2:13.6 for Sakiro Minamoto. So Minamoto loses a 1/10 of a second that time out. He will be very disappointed that he didn't get such a good start.
Yeah, he will. He will. And what you can see, Pirapong is just getting the laps in.
The thing that amazes me about him is that I still don't believe that he's pushing at 100% at the moment. I think that Pirapong's able to sit at everybody else's fastest pace. And then towards the end, he just finds that something a little bit extra.
Yeah, that's been the pattern of his victory so far. And of course, as you mentioned at the start, Steve, he stands to equal the all-time ARRC record of successive wins, which is 7 held by Hamaguchi, right? Which he's held since 2005.
Yeah, so it's a long time between drinks. Not sure if Hamaguchi's here this weekend to try and do something about it, but not much he can do, really, because this man, Pirapong, is on a roll. And I guess the wild card attack that we were expecting hasn't happened yet.
And I saw Hamaguchi comment. He said, "I feel honoured to have held this record for 14 years."
Well, it's not over yet.
No.
The checkered flag hasn't dropped. It's still his record, at least for another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kazma Daniel is doing a great job at hanging in there. A little bit of movement from the back of Pirapong's bike there. That's always good when you're a rider and you're sitting on the back wheel of the guy in front and you start to see their bike move around. It makes you feel a little bit better, especially if yours isn't. If yours is stable, you think, hey, I might have a bit of a chance here.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, we have plenty of laps to go, 7 laps of this 5.8 kilometre circuit. That won't phase Pirapong with his Suzuka 4-hour experience.
Yeah, I mean, how many laps has he done around here? He's done quite a few, I imagine.
Yeah, probably not as many as you, mate, but fair few.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that he's probably there is the Musashi rider that went down.
I can't see from that angle.
No, unfortunately, couldn't tell you who that was, but back in the pits way earlier than they wanted to be. So unfortunately, one of the Musashi machines, the Musashi Bunsu Honda Racing Team's bikes out of this one and in the pit too early for their liking. But back out front, Kazma Daniel is looking attacking at the moment. Right on the back wheel. Perhaps it's not going to be a wild card that takes it to Pirapong. Perhaps it's going to be Kazma Daniel.
Yeah, well, this is motorcycle racing, and it's never easy to predict. So let's see. But we have seen this pattern before in the race. And now, just looking at the gaps, it's 3.6 seconds back to Adam Norodin in 4th position. And 2 seconds, almost 2 seconds behind him is the best of the Japanese wildcards, Yuto Sano, who's on the Battle Factory Yamaha.
Of course, Kazma Daniel also hitting some good form at the moment. He got a 4th and a 3rd last time out at the Chang International Raceway, so his confidence is growing all the time. And I think that every lap he stays on the back and this close to that man in front, he really is going to be looking for a way past. And look at him close up there. I reckon
he's good on that turn.
He's got a little bit more mid-corner speed at the moment. He can turn a little bit tighter. If he can conserve his energy with 6 laps to go, he might be able to take it to Pirapong. But it is that man back in 3rd position, Minamoto, who's 1.5 seconds off now. So still catching slightly is Minamoto. So he could join this front group.
Yeah, he's doing 13.6s.
Yeah, so he was 0.3 quicker last time, and that gap has visibly come down. I don't think it's over yet. Minamoto could join this group, especially with 6 laps to go. Just 0.3 the gap is to Kazma Daniel, 1.4 back to Minamoto now, back in 3rd position there.
Yep, half distance now.
Of course, Yamaha 1, 2, 3 here at the moment in this class. Up front, seems to be the bike of choice at the moment. But I'll tell you what, if Pirapong was on a Honda, he'd probably be going just as good.
I think so. I've spoken to a couple of Honda riders who tell me that the Yamaha is the bike to beat, but I think they're kind of beating themselves when they say it.
You know, the old saying is the grass is always greener on the other bike. That's what they say. So
how long do you have to leave a bike outside to make it go green?
Well, when you're a rider, everybody else's bike seems better than yours, except for Pirapong. I bet you he's pretty happy at the moment. Although he is using more track now than the man behind him. Kazma is looking good at the moment. Just tucking in nicely, saving that energy. The only thing that he's got to worry about is Minamoto, who's right on the back wheel. Adam Norodin, though, not doing what I thought he might. I reckon that was Helmi Asman that went out, because that's Azroy Akim on the number 20, so it could have been the number 634, who's unfortunately gone out of this one, not proving to be lucky, number 634 this time round.
Yeah, Stephen, we were talking about Pirapong's training. The other piece of another piece of the jigsaw is the people he's got in his pit box. His mentor in there is Desha Kreisart. And he's had some fantastic races at this circuit. He won 2 ARRC 600 championships.
Yeah, there's probably no one better than Desha Kreisart in the pit box, is there? I mean, what a brilliant rider he was in his day, and with all that experience, if you've got a rider that does what you tell him to do, well, no wonder Pirapong is where he is right now.
Yeah, and these riders really look up to him as well. One of them, who was riding in 250s last year, Anupam Samoon, he actually carried Desha's race number on his helmet. Every time he got on the podium, he'd point at it.
Well, just to recap at the moment, it's Pirapong Boonalert who is leading this one from Kazma Daniels, Sokiro Minamoto in third position, Adam Norodin in fourth, and Yuta Sano, the other Battle Factory Japanese wildcard, in fifth position. Another wildcard behind him, Akuda, on the Kawasaki, and one of the few Kawasaki's in the field.
Yep, it's unusual to see a Kawasaki in this class.
They've got such a competitive bike. I mean, last year they were so good, and yeah, it's really unfortunate that the factory Kawasaki team not here, but the racing is still sensational.
And look at this.
Kazma Daniel goes up the inside. He's using that tight line. Pirapong is wide, and he tries to make the move, but he's run wide. Pirapong strikes back. Welcome to the party. And look at Minamoto. Minamoto's there now.
Yep, so now we have a race on, Steve.
We certainly do. Minamoto will be rubbing his hands together. Soichiro Minamoto, can he cause an upset here?
Yeah, and let's see if Pirapong can settle things down and get away, or whether he's going to have to fight it out toe-to-toe with these two rivals.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Kazma Daniel knows that he's got company from the Japanese man behind him, so he needs to get past. He knows what's happening. Pirapong is just doing what he always does, but I think Pirapong's in a little bit of trouble here. He's using more track than the other guys, and he can't hold that mid-corner speed. Look at that. He's way wide there, and they're almost running into the back of him at that part of the circuit. The rear's moving again. Minamoto now right on the back end of these two Yamahas up front.
Yeah, you can really see it at that long left-hander at the spoon, and now they're all together going down this straight.
Yeah, Minamoto's used the slipstream. Not yet. He's feeling pretty happy. There's still 4 laps to go. I'll tell you one thing that you don't want to do if you're Minamoto. You want to make him move now, and he's gone up the inside, and he's gone past both of them, has he? No! It's Pirapong, good on the brakes. Great move there by Pirapong. Minamoto doesn't want to get into a battle on the last lap. He doesn't want to let it come down to that last corner, does he?
No, he doesn't. No, he's caught them up now, and now he needs to convert that into another place or two further up.
Well, I reckon that Minamoto would like to make 2 places and about 4 seconds in front, and he'd be happy with that. But that is not going to be so easy, because we know how hard that man in front, Pirapong Boonalert, can fight.
Yeah, he can. We just saw Desha Chrysler, we were talking about in pit lane, looking far more stressed than Pirapong looks at the moment.
Once again, a bit of a tight line, runs wide again. Kazma Daniel around the outside. What a great move by Kazma Daniel. Complete bamboozlement there. He just got straight through, but can he pull away? I think he can, because Pirapong is running wide everywhere. He can't do anything about it.
You're right, Steve. Pirapong does look like he's struggling with that bike.
And Kazma, well, now, when Pirapong comes around, he hasn't looked over his shoulder yet. I don't even know if he knows that Minamoto's there. So he's going to get an awful shock in a minute when he finds out that that yellow number 22 is right on the back of the group. Well, there's 3 up front now in this one as they head into the hairpin, and it is Kazma Daniel with nobody in front of him. It's new territory for him now. He hasn't led a race for a while. No one to follow. What can he do? Yeah,
he briefly got it in front of Pirapong in one of the races at Buriram, but I think that was just Pirapong having a look. But now, as they come up here, let's see how they do at the spoon this time, because Pirapong looked in all sorts of trouble last time.
Well, he certainly did. He uses more track than everybody in there, but it is Kazma Daniel who's carried more speed on the entry, and he's got 2 or 3 bike lengths now. Minamoto's taking a different line too. Stands the bike up on the exit. Look at the rear end there of Pirapong's bike, moving again.
Yeah.
I think Hamaguchi is sitting back, and he's got a little bit of a smile on his face now, because that record might stand for a little bit longer.
It looks like it, and what a record to try and take away as well.
Well, absolutely, but it's not over yet, because Pirapong is so strong on the brakes into here. The final turn, the final chicane, where we've seen so many battles won and lost over the years. Heading over that start-finish line again, it is Kazma Daniel, and he has pulled out a little bit of a lead now. 214.4, 0.6 quicker than Pirapong Boonalert last time round. 2 laps to go, not much time left in this one.
Yeah, Sochiro's sitting there at the moment. I wonder if he is going to wait until the last chicane.
Well, it's a tricky situation that he finds himself in. Does he take the guaranteed podium third, or does he risk everything and go for the win? It's a very difficult situation for him, because if it all goes wrong, no one will remember. But if he gets third, you never know what might happen.
That's right, Steve. And I think he's going to go for the win. I don't think he's going to be thinking about his place in history.
Well, yeah, maybe not. I mean, everybody wants to try and get that first place trophy. But one thing we do know is that 3 into 1 doesn't go.
Correct. Kazma has got that couple of bike lengths there.
Oh, yeah, they're still
checking.
there, Kazma. You don't need to turn around and have a look. You can be absolutely guaranteed when you've got a rider of the class of Pirapong. And Pirapong is struck on that. Oh, he's run wide. And Minamoto goes through. Pirapong back to third. Back to third for Pirapong. And he strikes back straight away, but he can't do it.
This is a good battle.
And that, with a couple of laps to go, is pretty much assured that Kazma Daniel has got a pretty decent lead now. Pirapong is probably out of this one. Let's have a look. He's got in there too deep. He's locked up the rear. He's almost run into the back of the number 127 man, Kazma Daniel. He has to run wide. Minamoto says, thank you very much.
Yep, and now he's in a relatively distant third place.
I think that he's going to have to settle for third position, because I don't think there's too much he can do about this. And now Minamoto, I think, can smell victory.
Yeah, in terms of the record, it looks like that's not going to go Pirapong's way. So
Minamoto up the inside. What a great dive. Can he pull it up? He gets in, he gets the apex beautifully. If anybody knows how to do that, it should be a Japanese wild card. Minamoto leads onto the last race. Kazma Daniel will not like this.
That was a beautiful move from Soichiro Minamoto.
It certainly was. And that 0.3 of a lead that we just saw on Kazma Daniel's board can be thrown away, because he hasn't got that lead anymore. What will Kazma Daniel do? Minamoto out front now, giving it everything he's got. 2:14.1 last time round for him. 2:15.1 for Kazma Daniel. 2:15.5 for Pirapong. The man with the pace is the man who leads at the moment. But we know how hungry Kazma Daniel will be for the win.
Yep, and he's chasing. And Pirapong settling for the 16 championship points that third place will earn him. Soichiro, he's not going to give this up very easily.
Well, who will be the only other winner in the class this year so far? Of course, Pirapong Being Alert has won everything so far, hasn't he? 6 out of 6, but it's looking like it won't be 7 out of 7.
And in this series, unlike one or two other international series, the wildcards do score and keep the points.
They certainly do. So these will be points towards the championship, and 25 points will be in a big bag of points for that man in the lead. But Kazma Daniel is not going to give up so easily. There's not much in this. If he can get a good drive out of here through the next chicane, keep that flow running, and then get into the spoon curve, good bit of a bobble there for the number 22 rider, but he just holds a pretty decent lead.
Yeah, this is his to lose now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could all go wrong. The thing with this Suzuka circuit is, as you're breaking into that chicane on the last lap, I've seen many people outbrake themselves, but it is Soichiro Minamoto with the Ano Speed YZF R6 who leads this one at the moment.
Well, he followed your advice, Steve. He didn't leave it to the last lap.
Well, it's always more spectacular when you do it that way, but more can go wrong. As they head down that straight for the last minute into the 130R. He's got this, he's fast through there. He's tucked in behind the screen. The only thing that he can do is get it all wrong here, but he takes the inside line. He's hard on the brakes, he's tipping in. He might have run wide, he holds it. He knows he's got this one now. It's Kazma Daniel in second position, but it is the Japanese Soichiro Minamoto from the Aken Speed Yamaha. Akano Speed, who takes victory here at Suzuka in the 600 race. What a brilliant ride for him. Kazma Daniel, the only regular to beat Pirapong, and Pirapong, great result, but I feel sorry for you. You deserved that 7 out of 7, not to be today.
Not to be today, and well, it's going to be a while before somebody gets a shot at 7 successive wins again, so congratulations to Hamaguchi-san.
Yes, Hamaguchi will be relieved with that. And I don't know if we've got 7 more races. is left this year. I'd have to calculate it, but there's probably still another opportunity for him to do it this year.
One more, yeah. So Pierrepont did the right thing. He rode for the points. He started this race with a 79-point lead in the championship over Andy Farid Izdihar.
Yeah, well, Andy
and
Farid...
he was was he a crasher? No.
Yeah, he's way down in 15th position, so he only picks up 1 point. But here comes Minimoto. He just got great drive out, went past Kazma Daniel, hard on the brakes, takes that inside line. Kazma Daniel left out to dry. He tips in beautifully, gets the apex, flicks it over perfectly, hard on the gas, and says, "Thank you very much, I'll take that." And he gets through. What a brilliant result. What a win from the man that you say has been in this championship a couple of times in the past. Now he gets a victory.
Yeah, that's it. By far his best result ever in ARRC. And well-deserved, well-judged.
Well, the Hong Leong Yamaha Malaysia team can also be happy with their rider. Kazma Daniel, great result for him. His best result of the year too, second position. So Hong Leong Yamaha Malaysia can be pretty happy with that.
Well, he beat Pierrepont fair and square, and that will feel like a victory to him.
Absolutely. You've got to say that that team this weekend, or today at least, worked better at the setup because his bike was turning better. Pierrepont's bike, to me, you could tell he was in trouble early on. The bike was running wide everywhere, wasn't holding its line. He had to use wider lines, and you could see the rear moving around too. So all of the signs were there that Pierrepont was going to have a pretty difficult day.
Yeah, and the riders in this championship are really high quality, so you only need to be a couple of tenths off, a couple of tenths of a percent off, and they will have you. And so that was really good work by Kazma, really good work by Minimoto.
Well, Minimoto takes the win here in the 600 class with Kazma Daniel, brilliant in second place. Pierrepont Boon Alert, got to be happy with that. Yuto Sano, another wild card in fourth position. Adam Noradin, fifth. Not as spectacular as last time out, but nevertheless good points. Akuda in sixth position. Seven was Amada Fifth Amaran. And eighth, Reza Danica Renz. That's a really good result for Reza Danica. Good to see. He's making his way forward in this class. Critchiporn, number 35, gets ninth. Pasawit Thiravarak in 10th. Helmi Asman, another good ride from one of our up-and-coming riders on the 634 machine, 11th. 12th is Sano. Fakruzi in 13th. Good to see him going well too. Javiolo Malloy in 14th. Andy Fred Isidar in 15th. Liam Taylor McDonald a minute back, but nevertheless a good result for him in 16th position. Masai in 17th. Ray Toshima in 18th. Azaroy Hakim